Our mission in Amtrak, the police department's mission, is protecting America's railroad. And protecting everybody's railroad is an important job, not only for the Amtrak Police Department, for all the agencies that service and work near our facilities.
Protect the network. That's what we say at Resource Protection, BNSF Police, is protect the network. So if that means protecting grade crossings, protecting our employees, protecting the public, that's what we're doing.
We can't do this alone. The freight railroads can't do it alone. We need the assistance of our state, local, and federal agencies to help us keep protecting America's railroad.
Anytime there's an emergency, anytime you have any situation at that crossing, it's critical that law enforcement, as soon as they arrive on scene, realize that trains can come from any direction at any time. And taking a hold over those train tracks is the #1 important priority when you respond to any scene. The railroads across the country have the emergency notification system, which is posted at every grade crossing, and it should be in the vicinity of the crossbucks, where there's a phone number that you can call, which is followed by the unique crossing identification number to immediately notify the train dispatcher of the situation that you have in front of you. Seconds count, and within those seconds, we can significantly slow down or stop trains in the delay that's many times caused by responders failing to contact that number right away.
If you see tracks, think trains. You can't say that enough. You never know when a train's going to be coming by there.
The Federal Railroad Administration has 2 applications that are great for law enforcement responders to download onto their smartphones, because not only you'll know who owns and operates the grade crossing before it's on scene, but in many cases it may identify new crossings like this one here where you don't know they exist.
Is there anybody trapped in that car?
Trespasser on the road is any person that's on the right-of-way in the gauge of the tracks that is unauthorized. Doesn't matter if you're jogging, you've got a camera, you want to walk the dog, this is the quickest way to the store. It is trespassing.
Trespassing is the initial act that can lead to multiple things. So if someone's trespassing, they could get struck by a train. Someone's trespassing, they could be putting graffiti on some of our property. They could be trespassing to commit a cargo theft.
We're looking at about 500 fatalities of trespassers nationwide, and it equals the same amount, 500 more for injuries. So that's 1,000 people that have been affected by the railroad operations because they didn't know or they choose to conduct their activities on the railroad, and all of those are probably avoidable. The crimes that occur on railroad property are real crimes, and they could be very catastrophic crimes.
When a law enforcement officer arrives at the scene of a train-related incident, they may think that it's going to be the same as a traffic incident on a roadway or freeway. It in fact is not.
Most important is tracks are active, trains can come from any direction, at any time, on any track, without warning. So we're asking minimally 15 feet from the track area, response vehicles should be parked. Secure the scene, make sure your personnel do not start to walk on the tracks or do anything active until you've confirmed that the tracks are safe.
A train engineer is required and has a duty to stay on board that train and maintain control of it during a train-related incident, as opposed to a traffic incident where involved parties may approach the officer. Also, it's a common misconception in law enforcement that train crew members, engineers for example, must produce a driver's license. That's incorrect.
Law enforcement should not begin to interview passengers on the train as they would passengers in a vehicle accident. Through the investigation, they can request copies of the video, as well as interviews of the crew via the Amtrak Police Department or Railroad Police.
Local law enforcement officers, when they arrive at the scene of a train incident, can expedite the process by first calling a wrecker or tow truck company as soon as possible, also getting the coroner rolling if it involves a trespasser fatality. It can be very overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. It's very important to remember that that officer should team up with a local railroad supervisor or railroad police officer who can guide them through the investigation.
A trespasser strike has a ripple effect, and it's the community, your community, that suffers, because they're on the trains. We could have thousands of people on 2 to 3 different trains all waiting for that scene to be cleared up. And that impact, people get frustrated. We'll have to ask for some assistance to get the people calmed down. And it's just, that's what we call the ripple effect. That train could be sitting on the track for 3 hours, but it's not that one train. It's the 2 trains behind it, the 2 trains in front of it, that all have to stop and wait until the scene is cleared. And that really becomes a problem for the community that we serve, but you serve.
At BNSF, we have a team that is assigned specifically to Homeland Security on the railroad.
After the 2004-2005 Madrid and London train bombings, the FBI recognized the need for a point of fusion between the government and the private industries of the railroad. So they placed a task force officer, myself in this position, in Washington, D.C. to represent the railroads and be that point of fusion between the FBI and the private industry. And because the railroads cover such a vast footprint of the territory, to be specific, 144,000 miles of track approximately is what the railroads cover. And so we have agents, officers, police officers all across the whole United States.
I think the most important thing for law enforcement agencies throughout the United States to understand is we are out there, and that if they need to contact or have questions about the railroad, all they have to do is reach out to one of our command centers.
Protecting America's railroad is not just for the Amtrak Police Department, it's for all the police departments that have some type of infrastructure or tracks going through their area.
Best part of our job at the railroad is the opportunity geographically to get out, work with a multitude of agencies across the 28 states that we have. That, for me, is very rewarding.
What I want to tell the police watching this right now is thank you. We appreciate the partnership. We want to continue our partnership.
We have to work together. We have to communicate. It's an essential part of our mission.